Hello students, once again welcome you to GK's Applied Maths classes. As a continuation of financial mathematics, today we are going to talk about the compounded annual growth rate, and we will also solve problems from Cbse Handbook. We will try to solve all the problems from Cbse Handbook. Okay, so we are going to talk about what is compounded annual growth rate. So this is one of the part of financial mathematics. I will also be putting a video on compounded annual growth rate where the questions will be solved from ML Agarwal also. So as you have been doing, kindly subscribe to my channel and also support me by clicking the bell icon to get notifications on video that we post. Okay. I hope these videos are very useful to you. So let us straight away get into this topic. Now, what is the meaning of CAGR, otherwise called compounded annual growth rate? The very word itself is very clear. It's called compounded annual growth rate. For example, I buy a share of a company. For example, let us assume I buy a share of a company. I buy it now, and the growth rate is, say, 10% per year. Okay. So from 2024 to 2025, from 2024 to 25, the growth rate is 10%. And then from, say, 2025 to 2026, let us assume something happened and the growth rate has dropped to 9%. And then again from 2026 to 2027, let us assume it has again gone up to 12% because the market is doing well. From 2027 to 2028, let us assume that it's dropped to 7%. Drastic drop. This type of market is called volatile market. You can never predict that it will continuously grow or it will continuously decrease. The market is said to be volatile because of various factors, political changes, economical policy. It can be any reason. The market can always fluctuate. Okay, so compounded annual growth rate address these type of issues. What is that actually? It's a cumulative performance of a particular variable. Here variable may be a share or investment, okay, variable or a share, through a compounding effect. You understand what is the compounding effect? Is it for 1 year? Is it for 2 years? Is it for 3 years? It may be for 4 years. It may be for 5 years. So nowadays people say if you put your money in SIP, okay, and if you keep your money for a longer period of time, you get a better return. Okay, you get a better return because of the CAGR. So if the compounding effect is more, most likely you're supposed to get a better return of money. So compounding effect, this is a very important word. It's a compounding effect. Performance of a particular investment over a period of time by a compounding effect. Okay, it is often used to evaluate the performance of different investments. Suppose I buy, for example, company A share and I buy a company B share, and I try to compare which company is doing better. The best, one of the data that is useful to compare the two companies or the performance of two companies is CAGR. Okay, so it's basically used to, it helps me to understand which company is doing better so that I can put my money there. Okay, now for example, if you invest 1,000 rupees, let us assume it grows at a compound rate of 10% annually. So what happens in the first year? Your 1,000 rupees with 10% interest become 1,100. This, the money has grown. And now 1,100. The second year, your principal will be 1,100. For 10, if you put 10% interest on it, it becomes 1,210. If you continue that for 4 years, you see finally it is 1,464.10. So the money that is 1,000, that is the starting value, which is 1,000. Okay, when you keep your money for 4 years, because of the compounding effect of 10%, because of compounding effect of 10%, your money is no longer 1,000 rupees. Now the money is worth what? 1,464. This is a very simple example. It is not necessary that it should always be 10%. It can be 10%, then fluctuate to 9%, or it can be 8%. We don't know. Here it is uniformly 10% increase. So it is uniformly 10% increase. This is my final effect of 1000 rupees for keeping it for 4 years at a 10% interest. This is what you call compounded annual growth rate. My 1000 rupees, because it is growing at the rate of 10% per year, and if I keep that money for 4 years, because of the compounding effect, my money will not be no longer worth 1000 rupees, but it is worth 1464. Okay. Now what is the use of compounded annual growth rate? As I told you very clearly, it helps me to invest money in different sectors based on how the company is performing. One of the ways to understand the performance of a company, one of the tools used is Cagr. See, compounded annual growth is used to calculate average growth of single investment. Okay. It also takes into account market volatility, year-to-year growth of investment, and etc. Okay. So use of compounded annual growth rate is, it helps. Actually, there is an increase, there is a decrease. Again, there is an increase, there is a decrease. Look at this data. Actually, Cagr, what it does is, it smoothens out. It does not really disturb your data much. It smoothens out the increase and smoothens out the decrease, so that you get a better average to understand how the company is performing. Okay. Now, before we go to this, another very important thing that you should know is, what is the difference between an average annual growth rate and compounded annual growth rate? In average annual growth rate, what you do, you take different growth rates and take average. That's what generally we do, right? It's a cumulative return of number of years. See, average annual growth rate is calculated by dividing the cumulative return, total return, by the number of years. But that will not give you the correct value. It may give you an inflated value because it doesn't take into account the volatility of the market. Okay. So average annual growth rate is not an accurate procedure to understand the performance of your investment. Whereas Cagr takes care of the volatility of the market, because the growth rate is calculated by compounding effect on returns of variable. Okay, it takes into account whether there is an increase, whether there is a decrease. It takes into account all those things, and the calculation is done based on that, so that it smoothens out. Whereas average is like, suppose there are 3 students in a class, one gets 10, other one gets 40, another one gets 60. The average gives you some number that doesn't determine the performance of the class. So average is not a very good way to understand the growth rate. Compounded annual growth rate is a better method to understand the growth of a particular investment that you do. So again, what is a compounded annual growth rate? It helps you to understand the compounding effect, okay, of your investment over a period of time. Okay. So now, what exactly it is? How do I calculate it? See, I start with a value. In this example, my starting value was 1000, right? So I call it starting value. I use the notation SV. SV means starting value. Now, after 4 years, my final value was 1464. This is my ending value. Okay. So, which is like saying amount equal to principal into 1 plus I to the power of n. Now, here your amount is the ending value, it's a final value. Principal is the starting value, and this is 1 plus I to the power of n, where I is the compounded annual growth rate in terms of percentage. Now from here, what is ending value by SV? By SV is 1 plus I the whole power n. So this is EV by SV whole power 1 by n equal to 1 plus I. So what is I equal to? Ending value by starting value whole power 1 by n minus 1. If you multiply this by 100, you get your Cagr. This is your Cagr in terms of percentage. where N denotes the number of investment period, S is the starting value, EV is the ending value. Everything comes from compound interest. Everything, it's a only thing is you understand it differently. Very, very simple. So annual compounded annual growth rate. Okay, if you use the formula in this problem, you'll get this answer. So what is the compounded annual growth rate? It's a cumulative performance of your particular investment over a period of time via compounding effect. Okay, because the principle do not remain the same, it keeps on changing. That is what you call compounding effect. Okay, I hope that is clear to you. So this formula is very, very important. And some important points about CAGR is expressed in terms of percentage. Okay, that's why I multiplied by 100. And CAGR can be used to compare historical return in different investment portfolio. As I told you, when you want to invest your share in company A or company B, and if you have the CAGR data with you, that helps you to understand where you want to put more money. Correct? So it gives you that. And CAGR always take into account the volatility of the market. There is always a fluctuation in the market due to various factors that will be taken into account by CAGR. Whereas average annual growth rate do not actually smoothens out that volatility. Whereas CAGR will smoothen out that volatility in the market. There's a theory that goes into it, but we don't have to go too much into that. Okay. Now let us go to the next problem. We'll start with the problem. Exercise 7.5 we are going to do, and the question is an investment as a starting value 5,000. Starting value. So starting value is 5,000 and there is an ending value of 25,000 and the money is there for 4 years. So what will be its compounded, and so 5,000 has grown to 25,000 in 4 years. It's a very big growth. So definitely your CAGR must be a big percentage. Let's see how much it is. Okay. So what is CAGR? CAGR is ending value by starting value to the power of 1 by n minus 1 into. Always write the formula so that even if you make mistake in calculation, some marks will be allotted to you. So this will be 25,000 divided by 5,000, the whole power 1 by 4 minus 1 into 100. Okay. Now this is 5 power 1 by 4 minus 1 into 100. Sometimes in the exam they give you the value of 5 power 1 by 4, or otherwise we have done in detail how to do logarithm. I am not going to do it, but I will help you. I will give you the basic. You find 1 by 4 log 5 and then you find the log 5. Log 5 will be something like 0. Some value. I am just taking some random value 3742 something. This is not correct. Okay. Then you divide it, take anti-log, that will give you the value. If you divide this, then take anti-log, it will give you this value. So if they don't give it, you can always do it through logarithm, but mostly they will give it. And it is given that 5 power 1 by 4 is 1.4953 minus 1 into 100. In case you are not able to do by logarithmic method, if you have a doubt, you can always put your message in the comment section. I will definitely do it for you. So this will be 0.4953 into 100. So the percentage is 49.53%. That means your money has grown 49.53% over a period of 4 years. You have invested 5,000, but it has grown at the rate of 49.53%. So you are most likely to invest in this company, isn't it? Because you're going to get a good return. You never know what will happen the subsequent years, but looking at CAGR, it helps you to, okay, this is the place where I can put my money so that I can earn more. Okay. Now let's go back to the next question. An investment as a starting value 2,000 and it grows to 18,000. So the starting value is 2,000 and the ending value is 18,000. And how long is the money? The money is there for 3 years. This is even more drastic than the previous problem. 3,000 has gone 6 times, 6 times it has gone. And number of years is 3. So I want to know how much percentage the growth has happened. We'll find out. Cagr is ending value. I'm not writing the formula now. By starting value, the whole power 1 by 3 minus 1. So this is 9 power 1 by 3 minus 1. Of course, if it is percentage, you multiply it by 100. But 9 power 1 by 3 is already given to you. 9 power 1 by 3 is 2.08 into 100. If you are not able to do it, you can take 1 by 3 log 9. It will be 1 by 3 point, it will be 0.9031, I think. You divide it, it will be 0.30110 something. Take anti-log and then that will be the value. Okay, that you can do it. It's not difficult. Okay. In case they don't give you the log value. So don't fight for it. If they give, fine. If they don't give, you can always find it. It is not complicated. This is 1.08 into 100. It's an amazing growth rate. What is the growth rate? It's more than 100%. So 108% growth rate, and you can understand it. It is from 2000, it has gone to 18. It's not 6 times. I'm sorry, it was 9 times. Your money has grown 9 times. So that is why, and over a short period of time. Okay. So if this is company A and this was company B, where will I put my money? Obviously, I'll put it here because it looks like this company is doing well. Okay, but you should never carry it away by this because the number of years is very, very less. So very difficult to understand what will happen in the subsequent years. Okay, this type of questions are very, very important. Watch this carefully. Calculate the Cagr for the following data. This is your starting point. You start your investment in 2015. And what is the starting value? Is 3 lakhs. And I want to understand it here. So what is the ending value? It's 4,50,000. Correct? Now how long is your money is in business? This 3 lakhs is there for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So N is 3. Don't count it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you have started your investment here. If your money is already there, if they ask you to calculate Cagr from here to here, then it is 4. The money is already there in 2014. From 2014 to 2015 is 1 year. But that is not the case here. You have put your money here. This is your starting value. For 15 to 16 is 1 year. 16 to 17 is second year. 17 to 18 is third year. Okay. Now, let's see how the money has grown. Cagr equal to 4,50,000 ending value by starting value, the whole power 1 by 3 minus 1 into 100. Now they get cancelled. So what did we get here? It will be 15, 3 by 2. Right, 15 will go 15, 4, yeah, power 1 by 3 minus 1 into 100. So this is 1.5 to the power of 1 by 3 minus 1 into 100. Now what is the value of 1.5 to the power? It is actually 1.1447 minus 1, which is 0.1447 into 100, which is nothing but 14.47%. So the growth is reasonable growth. It is 14 point, but this is like a unbelievable growth. Even this is somewhat unbelievable. 50% growth, more than 100% growth, exaggerated growth. Whereas this sounds a little reasonable. Okay, this is how the performance generally be in a company. 14.47% is the growth rate. Okay, compounded annual growth rate. Because this money is compounded over a period of time. It's a compounding effect of 3 lakhs over the for the duration of 3 years. Okay. Now let's go to question number 4. So what does the question number 4 say? Mr. Kumar has invested 20,000 in the year 2014. He has invested rupees 20,000 in the year 2014 for 5 years. So he is keeping the money for 5 years. If the CAGR for that investment, wow, this is CAGR is given to you, which is 11.84%. This is given to you. What will be the end balance? So you are expected to find the end balance. So how do I do it? Now, starting value, what is it? This is 0.1184 CAGR. If I divide it by 100, it will be 11.84 divided by 100, which will be 0.1184. CAGR equal to ending value by starting value whole power 1 by n minus 1. The percentage is converted, so I don't have to multiply by 100. Otherwise, if you multiply by 100, you divide by 100 and write 11.84. 0.1184 equal to ending, you can bring this one this side, so it will be 1.1184 equal to, what is ending value? I don't know. My starting value is 20,000 whole power 1 by 5. Now taking the fifth, raising it to the power 5, 1.1184 whole power 5 equal to ending value by 20,000. This value will be definitely given to you. If they don't give it also, don't have to worry. You can always use logarithm to do the calculation. So it is actually 1.7497 equal to ending value by 20,000. Easy to use calculator logarithm. 5 log this, divide and multiply by 5, then take anti-log. Okay, or this value will be given. If it is not given also, it is not at all difficult to calculate. So what is ending value? 1.7497 into 20,000, which is what? Which effectively is 34,994. I am not doing multiplication, otherwise it will waste our time. So this is the ending value. So my starting value was 20,000. If I keep my money for 5 years at a growth rate of 11.84, my ending value, finally what money will I get? I will get 34,994. So my investment of 20,000 has yielded me this amount for keeping the money for 5 years at a compounded annual growth rate of 11.84. It sounds reasonable, right? Now let's come back to this. This is a very, very important question. Okay, it's slightly different from every problem. Mr. Naresh has bought 200 shares of a City Look company at 200 each. So one share is 200. So he has bought 200 shares. So the total investment, so my starting value is 200 into 100, which is right 20,000. Naresh bought 200 shares in the City Look company at 100 rupees each in the year 2015. After selling them, he receives, so this is the ending value. So what is the ending value he gets? He gets 30,000, which accounts to 22.47 CAGR. So my CAGR is 22.47%, or otherwise 0.2247. Calculate, I want to know how long I should keep that money in the business so that I get this money. I invested this, but I am getting 30,000. How long I should keep this money for this growth rate to happen? Okay, is what I want to find. Very simple. CAGR equal to ending value by starting value to the power of 1 by n minus 1. Since I will take it as percentage. So CAGR percentage is what? 0.2247 equal to ending value is 30,000 and my starting value is 20,000. Whole power, I don't know the number of years, minus 1. So bring this one this side, get 1.2247 equal to 3 by 2 whole power 1 by n. Raising it to the power of n, I get 1.2247 whole power n equal to 1.5. Now I want to find n. How do I find n? Take log on both sides. N log 1.2247 equal to log of 1.5. Okay, which is n into the characteristic is 0, and if you look at the log of 12247, I'm getting it as 0.088. I'm getting it as 0.0880 in fact, is equal to, this is 1.55. If you take log, it will be 0.1761. 0.1761. So what is n equal to? 0.1761 divided by 0.0880. Correct? Now, if you observe this carefully, this is 70, this is 8, this is approximately equal to 2 years. You can do an approximation. Okay. Now, how do I do it? 1761 divided by 880. Correct? Multiply both by 1000, or sorry, 10,000. So you get 1761 by 880. This is exactly double of this, a little more. So approximately equal to 2 years. So number of years should be 2. So I should keep my money for 2 years. I should keep my shares for 2 years. My initial share value, my face value is 20,000, but whereas my market value is 30,000. So my growth rate is 22.47, which is, so for these things to happen, I should keep my share for at least 2 years, okay, so that I earn this money at this growth rate. This is what compound annual growth is. I hope you understand the concept. Compounded annual growth rate is a very important topic where you understand the growth of a company through compounding effect. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. We will definitely continue with Cagr from ML Agarwal also. We'll do all the questions from that, from the exercise in ML Agarwal. So kindly subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get notification. I hope this video is very useful to you. Do not compromise on sitting down and working out the calculation, because calculation is a very important part of applied mathematics. Okay, see you again in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.